Hello Outriders, and welcome to the only top tips video that you're going to need to conquer World Tier 15 and make it into Endgame. These tips are also going to help you dive deep into expeditions as you fight your way to the Eye of the Storm. If this video is helpful, then be sure to hit like and share it, because this will enable more people to watch it. And if you're new to my channel, then click on subscribe for more Outriders content from me. I have a lot planned and you're not going to want to miss it. So starting with the in-game settings, we have tip 1. This is especially required on co-op, but also a great option for solo play, and you want to turn the auto loot minimum rarity to common. While you are playing, you can simply just press down on your D-pad in order to collect any loot. This is great to do periodically anyway to not miss any drops, and also while playing with a partner and they loot something. While on this screen, I also suggest automatically adjusting the world tier to max, which is the option above. For tip 2, we are staying in the settings and we're going to head to controls. I've seen a lot of people complain about how clunky this game feels, and the aim does take a little bit of getting used to. This can be helped with some settings though, and after playing around with them, this is where I felt that it was best for me. I have my look sensitivity on 3, my ADS on 1.1 and my ADS while scoped on 0.5. This may not be your ideal settings, but do play around with these until you feel happy to make the gameplay feel smoother. Tip 3 is to farm for mods. When you dismantle your gear, any mods that you do not have are saved in your crafting library so you can use them later. You can tell if you already have a mod by this little window icon on the mod. If the mod does not have this icon, then make sure you do not sell this item and you dismantle it to get the mod saved. Mods are very important, and you'll find the game a ton easier once you equip some that suit your playstyle. There are many great ways to farm for mods, but here is a method that you can do very early in the game. From the lobby, select World Tier 1 and then select a story point from the quarry called Travel to the Forest after preparing the trucks. You'll need to reach this point first and complete it in order to have this option, and don't worry about the warning message because you can select your most recent story points again once you finish your farm. Just press continue game to load up the story points, and you need to speak with Jacob. In the next scene you'll have a boss fight, and it'll be very easy to do on World Tier 1. This boss will always drop 2 pieces of epic gear, and they have 2 mods per piece on, giving you a very easy way to get Tier 1 and Tier 2 mods. Rinse and repeat this method to fill your mod library out and give yourself better options. There are better farm methods when you reach higher world tiers, but this is the best one that I found early in the game. Tip number 4 is to equip mods. This is so cheap to do, and you should be doing this as soon as you put on a new piece. To equip a mod, you just need to speak to Dr. Zahidi at your camp. He unlocks very early in the game, and you just need to tell him that you want to upgrade your gear, and you'll come to this crafting screen. Select the piece that you want to mod, and you'll have an option to equip any mod that you have added to your library. That's why it's important to farm for mods, as I explained in tip 3, because there are some mods that are very overpowered, and I haven't even started farming tier 3 mods yet that only come on legendary items. Do take note though that you can only replace 1 mod slot per item. Once that slot is replaced, you can replace that slot again, but you can't replace the other slot, as you can see here on the foot gear, as there's a padlock icon on slot 2. Your aim here is to find a piece that already has a mod on that you want to use. Then with the other mod slot, you can place any other mod that you want in that slot. This piece would then become a must-have item, and for this it leads us perfectly onto tip 5. Upgrade your best gear. So sticking with Dr. Zahidi's crafting menu and this foot gear, we also have the options to level up and raise attributes. I strongly advise doing this for items where you have managed to get 2 perfect mods on. On this piece I have the Bloodlust mod that increases my firepower, and I have the Emergency Stance mod that comes in clutch with a golem protective effect when my health drops below 30%. I love these mods, so rather than trying to farm higher pieces with them on, I am just going to make this piece a higher piece. If you click on level up, you are going to be able to spend titanium to match the piece's level with your current maximum level, and this will prevent you from having to replace it. And if you don't have titanium, I do have another great farming method for you. Go back to the lobby, and you want to again select World Tier 1. Then this time select your story point as Eagle Peaks, and you want the checkpoint Investigate the Volcano's Peak. Again, don't worry about the warning message and just continue game. Once loaded in, you're going to be right at the boss fight, and this boss has a chance of dropping a lot of titanium. It doesn't always happen, but it is super quick to rinse and repeat, and I've got over 40 titanium from one run before now. It won't take long to earn the required amount of titanium to upgrade your perfect piece of gear to max if you are short. It certainly beats putting a piece on that will lose these mods from your build. And one other thing that you want to do is raise the attributes of this perfect piece. You can see that mine are all maxed here and it costs shards to increase them. You earn shards by dismantling gear, and if you don't have enough now, then come back later. Each time that you level up an item, you'll want to raise your attributes again. We are over halfway now and on to tip 6, and I want to dive a little bit more into shards, and a huge shout out to Kedri that informed me about this. So we just spoke about using shards to raise attributes on perfect pieces. Well, perfect pieces may not always stay perfect, especially when you get to endgame and start farming legendary gear. So if at any point you don't need a piece that you have invested in, then whatever you do, do not sell it. Instead, dismantle the piece and it will return all of the shards that you have invested into it. Unfortunately, it doesn't return anything else, but these shards will be very handy to have for upgrading new gear. Take a look at this item here. I'm going to first upgrade it, and this will cost titanium. It takes me from 1707 all the way down to 1478 titanium to fully level it. Moving on to the attributes, and I'm going to invest what I can into max health, skills life leech and healing received. First, we'll hover over shards, and we can see that I have 924 max health shards, 299 skills life leech shards, and 3993 healing received shards. Once I have invested in these attributes, you can see that these shards are now at a lower value. I will now go ahead and dismantle this piece that I've just invested in, and when we head back to the crafting menu, we can see that all 3 attribute shards have returned to normal and my titanium didn't. I actually ended up with a few more shards because dismantling gear is how you get shards. So make sure that you dismantle any gear that you invest shards into, because you lose them if you sell them. For tip number 7, I'm going to quickly discuss inventory management. It is important because you have limited space, and once you run out, I believe it auto dismantles your items. So on your backpack, which is your general inventory menu, you have 30 spaces for main weapons and then 15 spaces for sidearms and each of your gear piece type. Once this fills out, you can still collect loot and it will be transferred directly to your stash. Your stash can be found at your camp, and it can hold a total of 100 items in. So always keep an eye on this if you don't want to lose any items. When you have a lot of items in your backpack, a great tool on the inventory screen is the quick mark all options. You can use this to mark all items of the same rarity to dismantle them very quickly. Tip 8 is for those that pre-ordered the game. It came with a pack called Hell's Rangers, and I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot about this. By the time I remembered, I had already hit a level that I believe made these Hell's Rangers items useless, but then I took a closer look at them. Heading back to your stash, and there's an inbox menu. Here's where you're going to find the Hell's Rangers items. These items are at level 10 and you are stuck with them because you can't sell or dismantle them. At first I was a little bit miffed, but then I noticed that they all came with some great mods, like these Earthborn Renegades gloves that have a tier 3 Anomaly Echo mod. Now as this piece stands, it is useless, but if you take it to the crafting menu, you are still able to upgrade it. First, as soon as you improve its rarity to epic, you can choose one of 3 mods to equip. You are still able to replace one of the mods too with mods in your library. And then if you have enough titanium, you are able to upgrade this item all the way to your current max level. It cost me 800 titanium to go from level 10 to level 42, but I now have a very good pair of gloves that will last into endgame and help with my legendary grind. And don't forget that you can also raise the attributes. I highly recommend checking all of these pre-order bonus items for items that can work for you. Tip 9 is a game changer, and it's going to change the way that you play this game. This allowed me to practically become invincible even at world tier 15, like you can see now on screen. This is the Shaman Warlord of the Shepherds of Enoch side mission, and it is one of the toughest encounters that you'll come across in the game. With this tip, you are able to stand toe to toe against this warlord and have enough heals to survive its attacks, and all it takes is to find the perfect LMG. It doesn't really matter what LMG, and it can be another weapon variant if you want, but I go with LMGs because they have bigger mags so it works better. Here I have the Eventide Cleaner LMG, and it has a mag size of 150. Its firepower is high, but most importantly it comes with weapon life leech. With this, as I fired a weapon, I'll get 18% of health back as I hit targets based on how hard I hit them. Mix that with the Essence Thief tier 1 mod, and that will also give you health regeneration as you are hitting your shots every second. It is a real game changer and you do feel indestructible. I use this with an SMG that hits harder, and whenever I need a heal, I just switch out to this and get as many heals as I need. My health bar is back to full in just seconds. And this brings us to my final tip and the end of the video. This tip is to play with others. As good as it is playing solo, teaming up with others allows you to team synergize and work off one another. Unlike when you are solo, if you go down in a team you can revive yourself, and if you go down again in the same encounter, your teammate can revive you too. This makes climbing the world tiers much easier, and if you do need a place to find people to play with, then look no further than my community. We are just short of 13,000 members now, and we are a looter shooter community, and you are very welcome to come and join us. You can find the link down in my video description. But that does bring us to the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure that you also leave any of your tips down in the comments for others to read. Thank you all so much for watching this, and until next time, stay safe and peace out.